My fiancée said she needed space. Turned out she was cheating with my best friend. I exposed them at our engagement party and walked away. I'm Cade, 29, commercial real estate developer. Been with Bella for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Connor's been my boy since college. We pledged the same fraternity, survived organic chemistry together even though neither of us went pre-med, and he was supposed to be my best man. 6 months into wedding planning, Bella hits me with "I need some space to process everything." Not a breakup, she insisted, just time to center herself before the big commitment. She started spending more nights at her sister Mallory's place, said wedding planning was overwhelming her. I'm not an idiot, I know wedding stress is real. Bella's a pediatric occupational therapist, works with special needs kids all day, comes home exhausted. I figured she needed breathing room. But something felt off. First red flag, she changed her phone password. We'd had each other's passwords for 3 years. Not because we're those people who check each other's phones, but for practical SHT. Hey, text Dean I'll be late while I'm driving, or can you Venmo the dog walker from my phone? Suddenly she's protective of it, keeps it face down, takes it to the bathroom. Second red flag, the schedule changes. Bella's always been routine oriented. Yoga Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 a.m., grocery shopping Sunday mornings, wine with her coworkers every other Friday. Now she's got emergency sessions with difficult patients running late, mysterious stomach bugs that only hit on weekends, and her sister apparently developed a crisis-level need for emotional support every Wednesday night. Third red flag, the SX. We went from 3 times a week to maybe once every 2 weeks. And when we did it felt mechanical. Like she was checking off a chore. She'd initiate just enough to keep me from asking questions, but there was no passion. No eye contact. She'd shower immediately after, every time. I started paying attention. Not snooping, just observing. Connor started acting weird around the same time. We've had a standing Thursday night basketball game at the gym for 5 years. Suddenly he's got client dinners for his maritime insurance job. Since when do cargo ships need dinner meetings at 9 p.m. on Thursdays? He'd still text during games he missed, SHT like "crush them for me bro" or "save my spot for next week." Performance BS. The thing that made me pull the trigger on investigating was small but specific. I came home early from a site inspection in Jersey, deal fell through, no point staying. Bella's car was in the driveway but she'd texted me 2 hours earlier that she was at Mallory's for the night. When I walked in, she was on the couch watching Netflix, freshly showered, hair still damp. Thought you were at Mallory's? She didn't miss a beat. Plans changed, she had a date. Just got home 20 minutes ago. I kissed her. Tasted like mint. Fresh mint, like she'd just brushed her teeth. At 3 in the afternoon. After being at her sister's. That night, I checked our joint credit card statement. I handle most of our finances. Bella admits she's SHT with money, so I manage investments, bills, everything except her personal credit card. But we have a joint card for household stuff, and she sometimes uses it when her personal card is maxed. There it was, $287 at the Marriott downtown, dated 2 weeks prior. The same night she was supposedly helping her sister through a panic attack about turning 27. I didn't confront her. Didn't say SHT. I started building a case. First, I needed confirmation. I have a buddy who works in corporate security, owes me a favor from when I helped him get a sweet lease on office space. Got him to pull security footage from the Marriott lobby. Cost me a bottle of Macallan 18, but worth it. There they were. Connor holding the door for Bella, his hand on her lower back. That familiar way you touch someone you're F-king. Timestamp, 9:47 p.m. They left at 1:15 a.m. I sat in my car watching that footage on my phone for an hour. Not crying, not raging, just processing. My best friend and my fiancé. The 2 people I trusted most after my brother Dean. The smart play would have been to confront them immediately. But I'm not built for quiet exits. I don't do subtle. If you're going to blow up my life, I'm going to return the favor with interest. Our engagement party was 3 weeks away. Both families flying in, all our friends, colleagues from my firm, her co-workers. 150 people at a high-end venue I'd dropped 12 grand on. Perfect. I spent the next 3 weeks being the best fiancé possible. Flowers delivered to her work. Foot rubs after long days. I even went to her nephew's stupid recorder recital and sat through 40 minutes of 9-year-olds butchering hot cross buns. Oscar-worthy performance. With Connor, I kept it normal. Still texted about basketball, grabbed beers twice, even helped him move a couch into his new apartment. While we were moving it, he made a joke about how his back was clinging from too much activity lately. I laughed and said, "Yeah, those insurance presentations must be brutal on the spine." He actually smirked. The King audacity. Meanwhile, I was documenting everything. Recovered deleted texts from Bella's iPad that still synced to our shared cloud before she remembered to disconnect it. Connor talking about how good she looked in the dress I bought her for her birthday. Bella saying she felt guilty but couldn't help how she felt. Him calling me oblivious and her responding with laughing emojis. The real goldmine came from an unexpected source. Raj, our mutual friend who's a sports physiotherapist, mentioned offhand that he'd seen Connor's boat out on the water a lot lately during lunch hours. Connor keeps his boat at a marina 20 minutes from downtown. I drove out there, chatted up the dock manager, mentioned I was thinking about buying a boat and Connor recommended this place. "Oh yeah, Connor's here all the time," the guy said. "Him and his lady friend take the boat out twice a week at least. Nice couple." I showed him a photo from my phone. Group shot from last year's Halloween party, but I zoomed in on Bella. "That's her?" "Yep, that's the one. Pretty girl. They usually head out around noon, back by 2. Noon to 2. When I'm always in meetings. When Bella has her administrative hours with no patient appointments." I installed a GPS tracker on her car. Legal gray area? Maybe. Did I give a F? No. The pattern was consistent. Tuesdays and Thursdays, her car would go to the marina. Stay for 2 to 3 hours. Then back to work. 2 days before the engagement party, I created my masterpiece. A slideshow titled Cade and Bella, Our Journey. Told Bella I wanted to surprise everyone with a romantic presentation. She thought it was sweet. Even offered to help. I told her I wanted it to be a surprise for her too. The night before the party, we had sex. She initiated, probably guilt or trying to maintain cover. I made her come twice, Ked her exactly how she liked it, then held her after while she fell asleep on my chest. Stared at the ceiling thinking about how this was the last time I'd ever touch her. The morning of the party, Connor texted, "Big day bro. Can't wait to celebrate you guys. Love you both." I texted back, "Tonight's going to be unforgettable." Update 1. Lot of people asking for the backstory on why I waited instead of confronting immediately. Fair question. My parents divorced when I was 15. Dad was having an affair with his secretary, cliché as F, I know. Mom found out, confronted him privately, and he convinced her to try counseling. They did the whole reconciliation theater for 6 months while he continued F-king around. Mom finally filed for divorce, but by then he'd hidden assets, positioned himself as the victim trying to save the marriage. She got screwed in the settlement. I watched my mom, the strongest woman I know, get destroyed twice, once by the betrayal, once by trying to handle it the right way. She told me years later her biggest regret was not controlling the narrative from the start. So when I found out about Bella and Connor, I heard my mom's voice, never let them control the story. During those 3 weeks of preparation, I was meticulous. Kept a normal routine, went to work, closed 2 major deals actually, nothing sharpens your focus like controlled rage. My brother Dean could tell something was off. We were having lunch and he asked if everything was good with the wedding planning. "Why?" I asked. "You seem, I don't know, man. Intense. More than usual." Dean knows me better than anyone. We've been through SHT together, parents' divorce, his ex-wife's psycho breakdown, my previous relationship imploding. But I couldn't tell him. Not yet. He would have wanted to handle it immediately, probably would have driven straight to Connor's place and beat his sauce. "Just work stress," I told him. "Big presentation coming up." Wasn't technically a lie. The hardest part was maintaining physical intimacy with Bella. Not the sex, that was just mechanics at that point. But the casual touches. The good morning kisses. The love yous before bed. Each one felt like swallowing glass, but I delivered them perfectly. She never suspected. Connor, though. That mother F got cocky. A week before the party, we were at a bar watching the game. Few beers in, he starts talking about relationships. "You ever wonder if you're making the right choice?" he asked. "About what?" "Marriage. Like, are you sure Bella's the one?" I took a slow sip of my beer. "Yeah, I'm sure. Why?" He shrugged. "Just asking. It's a big commitment. Want to make sure my boys thought it through." The ball's on this guy. He's literally F-king my fiancé and trying to plant doubt about my relationship. I wanted to put my beer bottle through his teeth. Instead, I laughed. Trust me, I know exactly what I'm doing. He nodded, looked relieved almost. Good. Good. You deserve to be happy, bro. We all get what we deserve eventually, I said. He clinked his bottle against mine. Amen to that. The documentation I gathered was extensive. Beyond the hotel receipts and marina visits, I found Venmo transactions between them with creative emojis that made no sense for friends. A parking garage receipt from her car showing she was at his apartment complex during a supposed work training. Text threads where they discuss their future and how to handle the situation. A particularly damning exchange where Connor said he felt bad about me, and Bella responded he'll be fine. He's strong. That last one hit different. Not because she was wrong, I am strong. But the casual dismissal of my feelings, like I was an obstacle to navigate rather than a person they were destroying. I made copies of everything. Physical prints, digital backups, even mailed a USB drive to my office in case they tried to gaslight me later. Paranoid? Maybe. But I've seen too many people get F-ked over because they didn't protect their evidence. 3 nights before the party, Bella was at Mallory's again. I drove by Mallory's apartment. Bella's car wasn't there. I didn't need to check Connor's place, I knew where she was. But I did swing by the marina. His boat was gone. I sat in the parking lot, looking at the empty slip where his boat should be, and made a decision. This wasn't going to be just exposure. This was going to be complete destruction. Professional. Social. Total. When Bella came home that night, she crawled into bed beside me. Kissed my shoulder. I love you, she whispered. I know, I said. She fell asleep with her arm across my chest. I lay there calculating exactly how many hours until impact. Update 2. Day before the party. This is where it gets surgical. Morning of, I woke up at 5 a.m. Bella was still asleep, mouth slightly open, hair messy across the pillow. For a split second, I saw the woman I fell in love with. The one who used to leave stupid puns on post-it notes in my lunch. Who cried watching the documentary about the rescue dogs. Who held my hand at my grandfather's funeral without saying a word because she knew words would break me. Then I remembered the video of her walking into that hotel with Connor. I hit the gym harder than usual. Needed to burn off the excess energy. Frank, my senior partner at the firm, was there. Old school guy, built his fortune buying distressed properties in the 90s. Big party tomorrow, he said between sets. Tonight, actually. He raised an eyebrow. Nervous? No, I said, racking the weights. I know exactly how it's going to go. Frank studied me for a moment. He's got this way of reading people. You don't survive 30 years in commercial real estate without being able to smell BS. You need anything, you call me, he said finally. Appreciate it, Frank. He nodded and moved to the next machine. Frank doesn't do emotions, but that was his way of saying he had my back. Would come in handy later. Went to the office, crushed through some paperwork, left early to prepare for the party. Bella had taken the day off to get her hair and nails done with her bridesmaids. She texted me photos throughout the day, champagne at the salon, lunch at some bougie spot downtown, her and Mallory making duck faces in the mirror. Each text I responded to enthusiastically. Gorgeous baby. Can't wait to see you tonight. Have fun with the girls. Meanwhile, I was at the venue, setting up my laptop for the presentation. The event coordinator, Janet, was helping me test the AV system. This is so romantic, she gushed. Bella's going to cry. That's the plan, I said, adjusting the projector angle. Tested the slideshow 3 times. Made sure the remote worked from anywhere in the room. Even had a backup laptop ready in case of technical difficulties. I wasn't leaving SHT to chance. Connor texted around 3, need me there early to help set up? Nah, I got it covered. Just bring yourself. And the speech. Been working on my best man speech for weeks. Can't wait to hear it, I replied. The F-king irony. He was actually planning to stand up there and talk about loyalty and friendship while actively betraying both. At home, I showered, shaved, put on the Tom Ford suit Bella had picked out for me. Navy blue, perfectly tailored. Looked at myself in the mirror and saw my father for a second. Same cold eyes when he knew mom was onto him but kept playing the devoted husband. Difference is, I wasn't playing defense. Bella came home at 5, already in her dress. Cream colored, knee length, showed just enough cleavage to be sexy without being inappropriate for a family event. She looked F-king stunning. How do I look? She asked, doing a little spin. Perfect, I said, and meant it. She did look perfect. Perfect liar in a perfect dress about to have a perfect disaster of a night. She kissed me, deep and lingering. I love you so much. Thank you for being patient with me these last few months. I know I've been distant. But after tonight, after making it official with everyone we love, I promise things will be different. The audacity. The sheer F-king audacity of this woman to stand there, tasting like champagne and lies, promising me a future she was actively destroying. I know things will be different after tonight, I said. In the car to the venue, she held my hand. Played our song, some Ed Sheeran BS she'd picked for our first dance. Sang along quietly. I squeezed her hand at all the right moments, smiled when she looked at me, even kissed her at a red light. Academy Award winners have given worse performances. We arrived at 6:30. Guests would start showing at 7. The venue looked incredible, exposed brick walls, Edison bulb lighting, long farm tables with white runners. Bella had spent months planning the aesthetic. Shame she'd remember it for all the wrong reasons. My brother Dean arrived first, with his girlfriend. Pulled me aside immediately. You good? You look. I don't know, man. Wired. Just excited, I said. He squinted at me. Cade, I'm your brother. What's going on? Trust me, I said. Just. Whatever happens tonight, trust me. He wanted to push, I could see it. But people were arriving, and Dean's always been good at reading the room. He nodded slowly. I got you, he said. Whatever it is. My mom arrived with her husband Paul. Bella's parents flew in from Ohio. Her dad, traditional guy, pulled me aside to tell me how happy he was to officially welcome me to the family. Her mom hugged me with tears in her eyes, said she couldn't have picked a better man for her daughter. Would remember that later when she was screaming at Bella in the parking lot. Connor showed up at 7:15, fashionably late as always. Gave me a bro hug, kissed Bella on the cheek like a good friend would. He'd brought a date, some blonde from his office he'd clearly grabbed last minute as cover. She looked confused to be there, probably wondered why her second date was at someone's engagement party. By 8, everyone was there. 150 people. My side, her side, colleagues, friends from college, cousins, the whole production. Open bar was flowing, appetizers were circulating, and everyone was in that golden hour of a party where spirits are high but nobody's sloppy yet. Janet gave me the signal. Time for toasts. I clinked my glass, got everyone's attention. The room settled into expectant silence. First, thank you all for being here, I started. Bella and I are overwhelmed by the love in this room. Bella was beaming, standing beside me, her hand on my arm. Before the toasts begin, I put together something special. A little presentation about our journey together. AWS and Oz from the crowd. Bella kissed my cheek. You're so sweet, she whispered. I walked to the laptop, picked up the remote. This is the story of Cade and Bella. But like any good story, it's got some unexpected twists. Nervous laughter. Bella's smile flickered slightly. First slide, us at a charity 5K 3 years ago, our first photo together. This is where it started, I said. Bella knocked me over at the water station. Should have known then she had a thing for collisions. Laughter. Next slide, our trip to Costa Rica. Her birthday dinner. Meeting each other's families. Moving in together. The engagement photos. Beautiful couple, someone shouted. More applause. Now, I said, clicking to the next slide, every relationship has its challenges. The energy shifted. Just slightly, but I felt it. 6 months ago, Bella told me she needed space. Wedding planning stress, she said. Needed time to center herself. Bella's hand tightened on her wine glass. I understood. Planning a wedding is stressful. So I gave her space. Click. A screenshot of her text, at Mallory's tonight. Sister crisis. Love you. Supportive sisters are important, I said. Click. Security footage from the Marriott lobby. Timestamp visible. Bella walking in with Connor. The room went dead silent. Except when you're not actually at your sister's. Bella dropped her glass. It shattered on the floor. The sound echoed in the silence. Click. The credit card statement. $287 highlighted. Interesting charge for a night at Mallory's. Connor stood up. Cade, what the F? Sit down, I said, not even looking at him. We're just getting started. Click. Text exchange between them. Connor, last night was incredible. Bella, I can't stop thinking about you. Bella's mom gasped. Her dad stood up, face turning red. Click. More texts. Bella, I feel guilty but I can't help it. Connor, he doesn't deserve you. My mom put her hand over her mouth. Dean was on his feet, fists clenched. Click. The parking garage receipt. The Venmo transactions. The marina log showing Connor's boat out during Bella's administrative hours. But my favorite, I said, voice steady as a surgeon's hand, is this one. Click. Video from the parking garage. Them making out against her car. His hands up her skirt. Her moaning his name. Chaos. Bella's dad lunged at Connor. Dean and two others had to hold him back. Bella was frozen, face white, tears streaming. Connor was trying to move toward the exit but found Frank and three of my colleagues blocking his path. You're done, I said into the microphone, looking directly at them. Both of you. I set down the remote, walked through the chaos to where Bella stood paralyzed. The apartment's mine, I said quietly, so only she could hear. Your SHT will be in storage. The ring's worth about 12 grand, consider it severance. Don't contact me. Then louder, to the room, thank you all for coming. Bar's open for another hour. Enjoy it, I already paid for it. I walked out. Calm. Collected. Dominant. Behind me, I heard Connor get punched, probably Bella's dad or maybe Dean. Heard Bella sobbing, begging someone to let her explain. Heard my mom tell her to get the F away from my son's family. But I didn't look back. Not once. Final update. Time for the epilogue, boys. Walking out of that venue was the most powerful moment of my life. Not because I'd hurt them, that was just consequence. But because I'd taken complete control of a situation designed to destroy me. The immediate aftermath was beautiful chaos. Dean sent me videos from inside after I left. Bella's dad had to be physically restrained from beating Connor unconscious. Only stopped when Connor's date, remember, the confused blonde from his office, started screaming that she didn't know he had a girlfriend. Plot twist, she thought she was his girlfriend. They'd been dating for 2 months. So Connor wasn't just F-king my fiancé. He was cheating on his girlfriend with my fiancé. Layers to this SHT like a F-king onion. Bella tried to do damage control at the party. Stood up on a chair, mascara everywhere, trying to explain it wasn't what it looked like. My 85-year-old grandmother shut that down. Sweetheart, we just watched you get finger F-cat in a parking garage. We know exactly what it looks like. Grandma's a savage. Always has been. Connor got out after someone, still not sure who, broke his nose. Ran to his car holding his face, blonde chasing after him screaming about him being a piece of SHT. He tried to drive away but found his tires slashed. Nobody saw who did it. Weird how that happens. Frank called me an hour after I left. You at home? Yeah. Good. Stay there. Establish presence. You were the victim who left with dignity. Don't muddy that water. Frank gets it. Optics matter. Bella showed up at 2 a.m., hammering on the door. I'd already changed the locks, had a locksmith on standby, told him it was an emergency. She stood out there for an hour, alternating between begging and screaming. I sat in my living room, drinking whiskey, listening to her cycle through the stages of grief in real time. Denial, this is all a misunderstanding. Anger, you F-king psychopath. You ruined my life. Bargaining, please, just let me explain. We can work through this. Depression, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This lasted the longest. Acceptance, never came. She eventually just left. Next morning, I had a crew pack her stuff. Everything. Clothes, jewelry, that stupid wine sign that said love lives here she bought at Target, all of it. Into a storage unit in her name, paid for 1 month. Sent her the unit info and gate code via email from a new address. Subject line, your belongings. She tried calling from different numbers for days. I never answered. Changed my number eventually, but kept the old one active just to see the missed calls pile up. 147 in the first week. Connor tried a different approach. Showed up at my office the Monday after. Face bandaged, 2 black eyes, looking like he'd gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. Security wouldn't let him up. He stood in the lobby shouting that I needed to let him explain. Frank happened to be walking through, took one look at the situation, and handled it. "Mr. Morrison," Frank said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Mr. Cade has made it clear he doesn't wish to speak with you. If you continue this harassment, will involve law enforcement. Additionally, I should mention that several of our clients in the maritime insurance sector were very interested to hear about your character issues. Might want to check with your employer about that." Connor went pale. Well, paler than he already was with the bandages. See, Frank owns stakes in 3 shipping companies that Connor's firm insures. One phone call from Frank questioning whether they could trust Connor with sensitive contracts, and Connor's career was toast. He was fired by Wednesday. Not officially for the affair, of course. Officially for discrepancies in client relationship management. But everyone knew. Bella lost her job too, though that took longer. Turns out, the mother of one of her special needs patients was at the engagement party. Bella had invited her because they'd become friends. This mother saw everything, told the other parents in the program. They started requesting different therapists. Within a month, Bella was asked to resign to pursue other opportunities. The social nuclear fallout was even better. Our friend group split initially, but when the full story came out, especially Connor cheating on his actual girlfriend with Bella, opinion consolidated. They were radioactive. Raj unfriended both of them, said he couldn't respect anyone who'd do that to a friend. Even Mallory, Bella's own sister, cut her off after finding out Bella had used her as an alibi. "She made me an accomplice," Mallory told me when she called to apologize. "I was covering for her thinking she was dealing with anxiety, and she was F-king your best friend. That's sociopathic." 3 weeks later, I got a letter from Bella. Actual paper letter, like this was 1995. 4 pages of word vomit about how sorry she was, how Connor had pursued her, how she was dealing with commitment fears and self-sabotaged, how she was in therapy now, how she'd do anything to fix this. The last line, "I know you hate me, but I love you. I'll always love you." I had my lawyer send her a cease and desist. Any further contact would be considered harassment. That was the last direct communication. But the best part? The absolute chef's kiss of karma? Connor and Bella tried to make it work. After destroying everything for their love, they actually tried to be together. Lasted exactly 6 weeks. She cheated on him with some guy from her new job. He found out the same way I did, credit card statement for a hotel room. The irony was so beautiful I actually laughed when Raj told me. Connor got a taste of his own medicine, and Bella proved she's just a serial cheater who'll F whoever gives her attention. As for me? I'm golden. The promotion Frank mentioned? Senior Director of Acquisitions. 40% salary bump, equity stake in the firm. Frank said the way I handled the situation showed exceptional strategic thinking and execution under pressure. Corporate speak for that was F-king savage and I respect it. Started seeing someone new 2 months ago. Alexandra, prosecutor with the DA's office. Met her when I was dealing with some contract stuff for the venue. She's brilliant, ambitious, and has this thing where she actually tells the truth. Novel concept, right? Told her the whole story on our 3rd date. Showed her the video from the engagement party. Dean had recorded my entire presentation on his phone. She watched it, set down her wine, and said, "That was the most beautiful destruction of human beings I've ever seen outside a courtroom. You're either a genius or a psychopath." "Can I be both?" I asked. She laughed. "That's why I'm having a 4th date with you. We're taking it slow. I'm not rushing into anything. Trust issues, obviously. But she gets it. Says she sees too many cheaters in court to ever become one. Plus, she ran a full background check on me before our 2nd date, prosecutor thing. I respect the due diligence. Dean's still my rock. We're closer than ever. He told me he's proud of how I handled everything, though he wishes he could have gotten a few more punches in on Connor. Next time someone betrays you, give me a heads up, he said. I want to be prepared. There won't be a next time, I told him. I'm too smart to let anyone get that close again. Except Alexandra? She's different. She's got as much to lose as I do. Mutual assured destruction if either of us FS around. Romantic, he said. Romance is for people who believe in fairy tales. I believe in contracts and consequences. My mom had the last word on the whole situation. We were having dinner last month, and she brought up the engagement party. I'm proud of you, she said. But also a little scared of you. Why scared? Because you did what I wish I'd done to your father. But you did it with such precision. Such control. It was like watching a professional at work. I learned from your mistakes, I said. She nodded. Your father would have crumbled under that kind of exposure. You didn't just expose them, you destroyed their futures. They destroyed their own futures. I just made sure everyone knew about it. She raised her glass. To controlling the narrative. We clinked glasses. That's the thing people don't get about revenge. It's not about anger. Anger makes you sloppy. It's about justice. It's about consequences. It's about making sure that when someone tries to F you over, they understand there's a price. Bella and Connor thought they were playing me. Thought I was too trusting, too in love, too F-king stupid to see what was right in front of me. They confused kindness with weakness. They thought they could have their fun and I'd either never find out or forgive them if I did. They learned different. I don't feel bad about what I did. Not even a little. They made choices. I made choices. Their choices led to betrayal. Mine led to consequences. The storage unit with Bella's stuff? She never picked it up. It got auctioned off after 3 months of non-payment. Someone got a bunch of barely worn clothes and jewelry for cheap. Circle of life. Connor moved back to his parents' place in Jersey. Last I heard, he was working at a small insurance firm that handles residential policies. From maritime vessels worth millions to arguing about roof damage claims. Beautiful. Bella's still in the city, working at some clinic in Queens. Mutual friends say she looks rough. Lost weight, drinks too much, cycles through guys from dating apps. Still posts inspirational quotes on Instagram about growth and healing and everything happens for a reason. Yeah, the reason is you're a cheating piece of SHT who got caught. Me? I wake up every morning in my apartment, no shared names on the lease. I go to work where I'm respected. I'm building an empire with Frank. I'm seeing a woman who matches my energy and ambition. I've got my brother, my real friends, my family. I won. Not because I destroyed them, anyone can destroy. I won because I did it on my terms, at my chosen moment, with maximum impact and minimal blowback. I controlled every variable, anticipated every move, and executed flawlessly. Some people called me cold. Calculating. Cruel, even. Good. Let that be a warning to anyone else who thinks they can play me. I don't get mad. I get strategic. And I always win. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, I kept the ring. Sold it for $8,000, donated the money to a charity for kids with special needs. The ultimate FU, turned the symbol of our fake relationship into something actually good. Bella found out through a mutual friend who saw the donation receipt I posted on LinkedIn with the caption turning endings into beginnings. She blocked me on everything after that. Perfect. Edit 2, for those saying I went too far, they F-ked in my bed. I found the evidence later when I deep cleaned the apartment. Hair tie that wasn't mine, cologne smell on my pillows. They F-ked in the bed I paid for, in the apartment I paid for, while I was at work earning the money that paid for the roof over their heads while they F-ked. So no, I didn't go too far. I went exactly as far as necessary. Final edit, this blew up more than expected. To the men going through something similar, document everything, stay calm, and strike when the moment is right. Don't let emotion drive you. Let strategy guide you. And remember, the best revenge isn't just exposure, it's walking away better than you were before. They're stuck with the consequences of their choices. You get to build something new. Something better. Something entirely yours. To those saying this is fake, I don't give a F what you believe. I've got the receipts, the videos, the legal documents, and the satisfaction. Your validation means nothing to me. To those who've reached out with their own stories, stay strong. The pain is temporary. The lesson is permanent. Use it. Connor tried one last pathetic attempt at contact last week. Sent a letter to my office marked personal and confidential. Want to know what it said? I lost everything. My job, my friends, my reputation. Even my family looks at me different. I think about that night every day. I threw away 15 years of friendship for something that meant nothing. She pursued me, made me feel special when I was going through SHT you didn't even know about. I was weak. I know you'll never forgive me, but I need you to know, losing you as a friend hurts more than everything else combined. You were my brother. I'm sorry I forgot that. I read it twice. Then I put it through the shredder. Apologies don't un-F my fiancé. Regret doesn't undo betrayal. And going through SHT doesn't excuse destroying someone who would have been there for you if you just asked. The truth? I probably would have helped him through whatever he was dealing with. That's who I was. That's what friends do. But instead of coming to me, he went through my fiancée. Literally. That letter confirmed what I already knew. I made the right choice. Someone who betrays you when they're struggling will betray you when they're strong. Character isn't situational. You either have it or you don't. He doesn't. Alexandra read the letter before I shredded it. Her response was perfect. Weak people always think their weakness is an excuse. Strong people know it's just another choice. This woman gets me. We're planning a trip to Tokyo next month. She's never been. I went once for a development conference. No hidden agendas, no secret meetings, no lies about where we are. Just two successful people enjoying what we've earned. Revolutionary concept in honesty. My therapist, yeah, I started seeing one, not because I'm damaged but because even winners need coaching, said something interesting last session. She said my response to betrayal was unusually calculated but psychologically healthy. Most people either implode or explode, she said. You did neither. You transform trauma into strategy. That's rare. Is it concerning that I don't feel guilty? I asked. Do you feel they deserved consequences for their actions? Absolutely. Then why would you feel guilty for delivering those consequences? Good point. She also said something that stuck. You didn't destroy them. You revealed them. There's a difference. She's right. I didn't make Connor a cheater. I didn't make Bella a liar. I just made sure everyone knew what they were. The destruction that followed was their own creation. For anyone wondering about the legal fallout, there wasn't any. Nothing I did was illegal. The security footage? Obtained through a friend, sure, but not illegally. The GPS tracker? On a car I co-owned and paid insurance on. The text messages? From a device on my family plan. The engagement party? My event, my presentation, my right to show whatever I wanted. Bella's dad actually called me last month. Apologized for her, said he and her mom were mortified. Said they raised her better than that. I always liked you, Cade, he said. Still do. What you did at that party. Well, if someone did that to my daughter, I'd want to KL them. But as a father, I understand why you did it. She needed to face consequences. Real ones. How is she? I asked. Not because I cared, but because I wanted to know if the consequences were sticking. Not good. But that's on her. You did what you had to do. I respect that. Her own father respects me more than she did. Think about that. The venue actually reached out to me last week. Janet, the coordinator, called personally. I know this is unusual, she said, but we had a cancellation for New Year's Eve. The owner wanted me to offer it to you first. He was impressed by your event. Said anyone who can maintain that much composure under those circumstances is someone he wants as a client. I laughed. I don't think I'll be needing wedding services anytime soon. We do corporate events too. Your company holiday party, perhaps? I booked it. Why not? The space is beautiful, and now it has a story. Plus, Frank loved the idea. Said it shows we don't run from our past, we repurpose it. The New Year's party is in 3 weeks. Same venue where I destroyed my engagement, now hosting my professional triumph. There's poetry in that. Alexandra will be my date. She already bought a dress, showed me a photo, it's devastating in the best way. Red, because, as she said, I want to match the blood on the floor from last time. Did I mention I love this woman's sense of humor? Dean's bringing his girlfriend, who's now his fiancée. He proposed last month, did it right, private, intimate, just them at sunset on his boat. No audience needed when it's real. I'm his best man, obviously. Already writing my speech. It'll be about loyalty, trust, and what real brotherhood looks like. Connor's name won't come up, but everyone will know who I'm not talking about. Some people say the best revenge is living well. They're half right. The best revenge is living well while your enemies watch from the ruins of what they destroyed. It's building something better on the ashes of what they burned. It's becoming untouchable while they remain forever stained. I don't check their social media. Don't ask about them. Don't care what they're doing. They're NPCs in my story now, non-player characters who served their purpose and exited stage left. Their role was to teach me a lesson: trust but verify, love but maintain boundaries, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. And I'm beautifully, perfectly indifferent to both of them now. But I'm not indifferent to the lesson. I'm not indifferent to the growth. I'm not indifferent to the fact that their betrayal inadvertently gave me everything: a better position at work, a stronger relationship with my family, a woman who actually matches my ambition, and the knowledge that when pushed to the edge, I don't break. I evolve. So thank you, Bella. Thank you, Connor. Thank you for showing me exactly who you were so I could show myself exactly who I am. A F King winner. P.S. Just got a text from Dean. Connor applied for a job at one of our client companies. The hiring manager called Frank for a reference since Connor listed our industry connections. Frank's exact words: "I wouldn't hire him to manage a lemonade stand." The gift that keeps on giving. Final word: stop asking if I feel bad. I feel fantastic. I sleep like a baby. My conscience is clear. They made their bed, F Ked in mine, and now they're lying in the consequences. That's not revenge. That's justice. And justice feels F King amazing. To everyone who's been cheated on, betrayed, backstabbed, you have two choices. You can be a victim, or you can be a victor. I chose victory. I chose control. I chose to turn their weapon against them and watch them bleed out on their own sword. Choose victory. Always choose victory. Because at the end of the day, they're going to tell the story anyway. Might as well make sure it's a story worth telling. And mine? Mine's a F King masterpiece. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.